The 2022 World Cup is finally here, with the opening game coming this Sunday. Though the hype is coming a little later than usual this time, and there's an unfortunately long list of names that won't appear, there are, as always, plenty of reasons to be excited. Not to mention the fact that the 4-year wait for the return of the world's most popular sporting event comes to an end this weekend. There is no obvious favourite, and of course, Qatar represents the end of an era, as the last time we'll ever see the Messi-Ronaldo show on this stage. So let's get to it. Here are my predictions for the World Cup, including the personal accolades, dark horses, and the eventual champion. Starting out at the group stage, I don't think any massive surprises will happen. Shock early exits seem to always go down, like Germany in 2018 for example, but in the Middle East, I believe all the bigger nations will proceed with relative ease. Whether there actually is a group of death is also up for debate. The two I think will go right to the wire though are groups E and G. E sees recent winners Germany and Spain go head to head, alongside Costa Rica, who sent Italy and England packing in 2014, as well as Japan, a clear underdog, but one with a generous dose of talent throughout its balanced squad. G, on the other hand, will most likely have the top-ranked team in the world sat on the most points by early December, but the fight for second is really interesting. Serbia and Switzerland both rank inside FIFA's top 25 teams, and can definitely cause upset. Take last year's Euros for instance. The Swiss put to bed the world champions at the round of 16 on penalties. Excluded from last year's tournament, Serbia now have a team to be reckoned with, partnering Dusan Vlahovic and Mitrovic up top, supported by both Lazio's Milinkovic-Savic and skipper Dusan Tadic. They could even be a menace to Seleção. Onwards to the final, I believe it will be a South American team versus a European one. Most likely one of Argentina or Brazil would face off with the 2018 world champions. France, whose road to the ultimate match is no mean feat, needing to come out on top over England, Germany, Belgium and Portugal, have not only the manpower but the experience to go all the way. Sure, Deschamps has a slightly revamped midfield due to the injuries to Pogba and Kante, however their replacements could add something new to Les Bleus, especially given those ahead of them. The Ballon d'Or winning form of Karim Benzema, partnered with arguably the deadliest striker flying to Qatar, could essentially be enough alone to get France over the line, and providing the enviable squad depth, it's no wonder they're among the favourites. For me though, after a 2-decade-long wait, the World Cup will make its return to South America. 5-time winners Brazil are currently favourites at 4-1. Tite's outfit is well adjusted for Qatar, harmonising their energetic attack with experienced defensive minds. Seleção are eager to get going and take their best chance since maybe 2006. Argentina stand in their way, as the famous rivals should expect to meet in the semis. And if the most recent Copa America is anything to go by, Brazil have reason to fear. La Albiceleste, who back in June conquered Euros winners Italy in the Finalissima to extend their record unbeaten run to 35 matches, have come close in recent years, even reaching the final in 2014, but have lacked the man-for-man quality across the pitch at times. Now, Lionel Scaloni has assembled a winning 11, going against the grain by reincorporating some of the old guard, who have welcomed the youngsters with open arms, creating a united vibe to the camp. Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez offer the sort of quality that the Argentine backline have lacked since the retirement of Walter Samuel and Roberto Ayala. A consistent obstacle for Argentina since the late 90s has been figuring out their strike force. The bittersweet issue of having too many world-class number 9s confused things, and in the last few competitions, the manager has dealt with enormous pressure to Frankenstein an offense just to integrate as many stars as possible, for which they sacrificed their best system. The build-up to Qatar, however, has been different. as Argentina fly to the Middle East refreshed, confident, and without the heavy load of pressure strapped to their back. Inter's Lautaro Martinez will likely spearhead the attack, while depending on their fitness, Di Maria, Dybala and Gomez drift around the box looking to feed El Toro. Obviously, the missing name here is that of the captain, whose fifth shot at the only trophy missing from his crammed cabinet will be his self-proclaimed last. If anything, it gives the nation a big boost, driven by their adoration for the number 10, who would love nothing more than to see him lift the gold and scratch their 36-year itch for good. Messi journeys to Qatar invigorated, already recording double figures in both goals and assists inside 18 PSG games. He's proved his ability to rack up the numbers in his deeper, free-roaming role. In all, there's not much going against Scaloni's side, and to win the whole thing, Argentina gets my vote. Moving swiftly on to my Golden Boot predictions, Messi could easily translate his club form to country and find the back of the net on a regular basis, particularly if Argentina achieves what's expected of them. While I don't feel as if England will reach the heights of Russia, Harry Kane is the favourite for the award, and with his outstanding penalty record, the Spurs marksman could do it again. Cristiano Ronaldo would naturally be a frontrunner when it comes to goal-scoring conversations, and he is by no means excluded. Yet with only 3 goals for the Red Devils since August, and reduced game time having fallen out with Erik ten Hag, CR7 is far from his best. Given also he and Messi are yet to put away a chance in a World Cup knockout match, I'm placing my bets with someone else, Kylian Mbappe. Already a world champion, the aforementioned Parisian prodigy looks as deadly as ever this year, popping up with superb strikes in the vital fixtures, and when his head's down, with the spotlight on him, the 23-year-old is an unstoppable force. Speaking of the Frenchman, every 4 years we see a young, lesser-known individual shine and earn the title of the Breakout Star. In '98, it was a fresh-faced Michael Owen. In 2010, Thomas Müller netted 5 times at the tender age of 21, and in 2014, James Rodriguez volleyed his way to stardom. This year, there are 3 likely candidates to keep your eyes on. Firstly, Gavi, Spain's youngest ever debutante, who is already earning comparisons to the great Andres Iniesta for his diminutive stature and tricky tiki-taka type technique, which could have seen him slot right into Pep's prime Barca. Up next is another midfielder in Jude Bellingham, who on top of his strength, ball control and eye for an assist, possesses the maturity that you'd expect of a veteran, not a man born in 2003. Should he see sufficient minutes, the Serie A Player of the Year could go on to dominate the winter headlines, as he has been in Italy since touching down in Milan. Rafael Leao is not only built to frighten fullbacks with his alarming pace and upper body strength, but he just seems to be improving every time he steps on the pitch. And having only just debuted for the Portugal seniors in October, Leao has a point to prove. For almost a decade now, the nation that, on paper, has always been in the running for the bookies is Belgium, but Roberto Martinez has never got them to click as anticipated. While the ever-astonishing Kevin De Bruyne and goalkeeping giant Thibaut Courtois are at the top of their game, Belgium's defence hasn't aged well, and the knuckle-dragging Eden Hazard arrives out of form, killing the spark that once made them so exciting. With some of the side on their last legs, the golden age has come to an anticlimactic end, and my thoughts are that, excluding a couple of stunners from KDB or Lukaku, the Belgians will ultimately disappoint yet again. Finally, the dark horses. We often see journalists overly hasty when it comes to the underdogs, making wild claims that in 2014 Costa Rica stood a chance, or that Hadji's Romania could outscore Brazil, so it's best to be conservative. Denmark land in the Middle East with a lot to smile about, winning the people's hearts last summer with a daring siege that got them amongst the final 4. Senegal are on the radar for many, featuring some truly top-tier talent who, in February, aided the Africans to the throne of their continent in the Cup of Nations. If I have to choose one, Uruguay pose an understated threat, and I'm eager to see how they fare. Since the emergence of Diego Forlan and Luis Suarez on the global stage, the two-time champs can never be written off. And though a promising era seems to have passed, Darwin Núñez looks to be a capable heir, riding on the coattails of Cavani and El Pistolero, who embark on their last dance. Not to be overlooked is their impressive midfield duo of Rodrigo Bentancur and Fede Valverde, who despite their mid-20s age bracket have lots of know-how at this level. La Celeste is balanced nicely, with their most capped man wearing the armband to lead from the base and pass the mantle onto the new breed of the nation, so the mythology of Uruguay can endure. That pretty much wraps up my predictions to preview the World Cup. Leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? Where are you from, and if your country is involved, how do you think they'll do? I also really quickly wanted to say thank you to everyone for helping me hit 20,000 subscribers, which is an amazing milestone. Keep your comments coming in down below about videos you'd like to see, and stay active on the community tab so you can make your voice heard. Thanks again everyone, and enjoy the World Cup.